So, Super Rugby Aotearoa is starting this weekend, and by this time you probably have an idea of who you are supporting or have decided. If you haven't though, check out this video that I have linked there where I go through the history of all the teams and why you should support them, all their best players, all that stuff. But yeah, that's not what this video is about. This video is about all the best players playing for each and every team. So you probably have a rough idea of all the superstars playing for every team and more or less which Barrett plays for your team at this moment. But who's the lesser known stars? The guys that you are going to be wanting to cheer their name because they're good but you've never heard of them before as an overseas fan probably. So let's look at the Blues first. You've probably heard of most of these names. The Blues will probably be the bandwagon team of this year, down to that second row with Beauden Barrett, Carter, Rieko Ioane and Marchant. But it's not the bandwagon team for the normal reasons you might think. So yeah, yet again that video will help you. The guys that you've probably never heard of, but you should really maybe look at a couple of videos or remember their name for this weekend's rugby. Hoskins Sotutu. I'm gonna list everyone from basically the most important names to the less important names, but still important to remember. Hoskins Sotutu, don't be fooled by his surname. He isn't the dancing type of guy. He's not going to go around you. He runs straight and he isn't going to win any peace prizes. He has no connection to the Archbishop. He is going to go for every challenge. He is a hard running guy. 21 years old, he made the starting spot in the number 8 jersey his own this year. Basically, Akira Ioane was injured and he made the jersey his own. Akira came back and he just could not get the jersey back from him. So Sotutu is a name to remember. He leads the competition amongst the forwards for meters made, line breaks, and also for the 20 defenders that he has beaten. Mark Talia, he's also kind of challenging another Ioane brother. Rieko Ioane isn't as safe in his position as he has always been. Because Talia, you can look at his numbers. He's scored 5 tries, most running meters in the competition, 47 defenders beaten. That's twice as many as any other player in the competition. And you can see why the 23-year-old is another excellent New Zealand winger coming through. Then Big Red, that you should really know his name, Tom Robinson. He's been talked about as a future All Black star for the last couple of years, and he's a tall workhorse on the park. He loves carrying the ball forward, and you'll see that red hair going all over the park all the time. Dalton Papali'i, he's a good tackler, a good guy at the ruck as well. Then Jonathan Ruru, the scrum half. Look, there's always talks of Aaron Smith versus Peranara, but who's the number 3 scrum half in the mix? Brad Weber though, but Ruru is always the guy kind of pushing for that 3rd spot as well, never getting it, but still a very good scrum half. TJ Faiane, a 24-year-old centre, he has been captain for their team as well, very strong runner as well, a short, bulky kind of centre. Matt Duffy, a older back 3 player, already 30 years old, but he's very good. He's played for the Barbarians a couple of times. Very dangerous. He loves scoring his tries. And then Caleb Clark, a 21-year-old centre, I think. Very good as well. He loves carrying it forward, and he's hinted to be a future star as well. Then we get into the Chiefs. So, okay, the Chiefs have a lot of good players, but something people probably have not told you yet, these players are constantly injured. So, yes, they have Laulala Ta'avao, Tyler Ardron, Sam Kane, Jacobson. They also have Adam Thompson, Weber, Cruden, Anton Leonard-Brown, and Damian McKenzie of all people. But these guys all tend to get injured. So, yeah, if these guys get injured, the guys that kind of fill in for their boots are also pretty good. Boshia, remember him if you look at the background of his name. Always New Zealand have this thing of, before the season, they have their poster boys posing for a couple of photos. If they have that colourful background, you know this is a future star in the making. He's been knocking on the All Black door since 2016, and even more this year. You can put your money on him or at the breakdown. If there's going to be a big moment in the game, there's a penalty at the breakdown or an actual turnover, it's probably Boshier doing it. He's made 3 turnovers so far, 10 forced penalties as well. And he scored 3 tries in the 5 games that he has played as well. Then Quinn Tupaia, he is a 21-year-old prodigy at the centre. And we've seen glimpses of the future star. We're still learning what he's doing, but he has the best master on his inside with Anton Leonard-Brown at number 12. Then Sowakula, he's that big Fijian on the park, running with the ball in one hand, just busting tackles, popping the ball, all that type of stuff. He looks like a big basketball player on the park. Then Nankivell, also a good centre on the park. He's an upcoming centre. Last year we saw more of him that he could do, but this year a little bit more silent, but he's still very good. Then we get to the other 3 that I have listed. All of them are very exciting back 3 players that could play fullback and winger. Nanai Sotoro is probably the most exciting or most promising one of them, being 20 years old. He's a All Black Sevens player as well, and he has the footwork to back that up as well. And remember, these 3 guys are all behind Damian McKenzie, so it's a tough ask, but still, all of them are pretty good and would make any other team as well. Then it's the Crusaders. They constantly have a conveyor belt of good players coming in. Last year we had both Eno and Sevu Reece that wouldn't have made this particular list of big popular names, but this year they are at the cool kids table, at the popular kids table, with Michael Alaalatoa, Joe Moody, Taylor, Scott Barrett, Sam Whiteclock, Mahunga, then the awesome guy with the mullet, Goodhue, and with George Bridge and Havili. So constantly they have these stars coming through. So less unknown stars coming through because they just get popular in a heartbeat. But yeah, so the less popular guys coming through is Christie. He's one of those guys with the colorful backgrounds that I was talking about. He's still 22 years old and you won't see him doing much during the game, but the opposition will. He is a nuisance to them. He is the top tackler in the competition after 7 rounds, or the regular competition that's defunct now, but he made 111 tackles, 20 more than the guy that is in second place, and he only missed 3 of those tackles. And I read somewhere on Reddit that they compare him to the Northern Hemisphere's Johnny Gray. He's a nuisance at the breakdown, and he's not the only one in that team. The 20-year-old Ginger Ninja, Cullen Grace, is there as well. He's very Peter Steph de Toey like. You get that vibes from him. But he could definitely be a future star. He's still growing. He's still getting there. He's not there yet. But he also gets a crazy amount of tackles done. And he's very good at lineouts. Will Jordan, he's been talked of as a future star. And you will figure out for yourself why they talk of him to be fast-tracked to become an all-black star as well. Unfortunately, he is behind David Havili in the ranks. He is still 22 years old, so he still has time to make it. But he is known to split defenses. He's excellent on the counter-attack, and yeah, like I said, you'll see what he does. Then Colonel Sanders over there, Oliver Jaeger, he's just yet another Irishman lost to his country due to New Zealand. Wait, no, that doesn't sound right. Well, anyway, is an Irishman playing in New Zealand, and they're talking of him becoming an all-black star one day. He went to Leinster Academy when he was 17 years old. Well, he wasn't picked for it, and he kind of went overseas, probably some kind of trip to find himself. Went to New Zealand, came to Christchurch, and he's never looked back. 7 years there, another 2-year extension. He's probably becoming an all-black. We haven't seen much of him though. Then overseas commentators, these ones are for you. Lester Fainga Anuku, he's a big winger for the Crusaders, 20 years old, 109 kgs, and he makes busting runs on the winger. He's very good. Like I said, there's a lot of talent in the Crusaders pool, so you don't see him too much, but still, very good player. Then Mataele, he's just as good, but we more or less remember him for that great try assist he had back in the day last year. And yeah, just Google Manasa Mataele pass and you'll see what we're talking about. As for the Highlanders, they don't have as many popular stars in their team. They have Coltman, Frizzell, Aaron Smith, then Josh Ioane and Milner Scudder, who is injured yet again for the first game. So yeah, here's the thing, they don't have a lot of other guys as well. They don't have a lot of big or less popular guys coming through the ranks as well. But the few guys they do have coming through the ranks are very good. Remember what I said about the colorful backgrounds? Every single one of the 4 guys coming through have those colorful backgrounds. Makaele Tu'u, he's a 22-year-old who was an unknown guy in the start of the year basically, but he plays a lot like the Blues' Hoskins Satutu. He likes to run a lot, he likes the line breaks, he likes tackling as well and busting tackles, so he's a handful for defenses and for guys at the breakdown as well. Nareki, he's a 22-year-old 7-star. He has a good step on him to prove that as well. And he has an ability to round off tries. He's played only 5 games so far. He's 3 tries, 1 try assist, 16 defenders beaten, and then 5 line breaks to go with that as well. And that is in a struggling Highlanders team. So that's pretty good going for him. So let's see how he goes in the new competition. Parete, he came in from the Chiefs. He also likes running with the ball. That's what he is there for, a flanker / lock running with the ball. He has a step on him as well. I've seen it. Mitch Hunt, he kind of is still finding himself. He's been in the shadow of Mahunga in all the years he was with the Crusaders. Came over to the Highlanders. Things didn't work out quite as it should with him at 10 and Josh Ioane at number 12. Now it looks like Josh Ioane is going to go back at number 10. Mitch Hunt, I don't know where that finds him, be at 15 or on the bench, but the thing is he is a game changer. He has a very good drop goal on him, and with the golden point rule that the New Zealanders have, this could work for the Highlanders. Last but not least, it is the Hurricanes, and it is another team with less superstars in the team, but the ones they do have are all poster boys for New Zealand rugby. They have Dane Coles, Adi Savea, TJ Perenara, Lau Mape, and Geordie Barrett. So big names in there. And if that wasn't good enough, the guys that are still coming into the mix as well, that isn't internationally known, are poster boys domestically for New Zealand rugby as well. As you can see here, Duplessis Karifi. Duplessis gets his name from the former Springbok captain, which is pretty cool in New Zealand though. As a Kiwi, that's pretty cool for him. 23 years old, and the Hurricane is the top tackler for his team, and that was without the presence of Adi Savea. Now with Adi back, I think that's just going to make their loose forward trio even better. Then it's Chase Tiatia. He's the unfortunate guy to be in the shadow of Geordie Barrett, unfortunately. So he gets limited time on the park, but when you do see him, you'll see what we're talking about. He's very dangerous. He does sniff out chances as well, does force it a little bit every now and then, but still a very good player. Tyrell Lomax, he is a one-cap prop for the All Blacks, but he came in for the Highlanders hoping to extend his career or get more chances in the All Black jersey. Then Vaya Fafita, he's a Tongan lock / flanker. He's a very busy guy on the park. Then we get to the last 4 guys in all of my lists. You'll see all of them are back 3 players. The Hurricanes always bring through exciting talent in the back 3. Ben Lam, he used to be a 7-star. You probably haven't heard of him from overseas, but you're soon going to hear of him in Bordeaux. That's where he's going next year. Very good player. He loves busting tackles. He's that kind of winger that just runs over everyone constantly. Then you're going to see 2 South African names, Wes Goosen and Kobus van Wyk. Kobus van Wyk came in over the year from the Sharks. He's getting older. He's 28, I think, but he still says he wants to play for the Springboks. Wes Goosen, he's basically a Kiwi. He's moved there since he was 4. He's been there for 20 years, so he's pushing for All Black spot. He's very underrated in my opinion. Then Rayasi, he's very similar to Ben Lam, still young though. He's 23 years old, and he's also a 7s player. Guys, let me know of anyone that I probably missed. There's big chances of that, or anyone that you're looking forward to. Also, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win this one, or who are you just supporting, no matter if they're going to win or not. Check out any of these other videos, and then I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.